Hello and welcome to the Night Feed. I'm your host, Charlotte, here to bring you some comfort, camaraderie and conversation. And after a little break to welcome my baby boy into the world, I'm so excited to be back with you for season 3 to keep you company during, let's face it, one of the toughest parts of being a new parent, the Night Feed. Tonight's unpaid sponsor is getting your newborn to nap in a peaceful house, putting your feet up with a cuppa, and the delivery man knocking like it's life or bloody death. Honestly, why is it always the delivery driver with the loudest knock that comes just when you finish feeding, the baby's settled, and you're about to have a chill? And I don't want to be that person that puts signs on the door, but I am tempted. We also have the world's loudest knocker, which I know does not help. And I actually think it shocks some delivery people when they knock. So we need to sort that. And do you know what? I just sat down to record this podcast. Baby boy's asleep. I am now looking at an Amazon driver pulling up outside our house. He's just looked into the window to check we're in. And I am going to have to pause. And I imagine the baby is going to be woke in the process. Yes, I beat him to the knocker. Didn't I? I was literally stood in the window of our front door looking like a psychopath. The baby's still asleep. Hooray. Isn't it funny how I was just talking about vans pulling up and knocking on and it happened? Anyway, I'm back after a few weeks off following the birth of our baby boy. He arrived at the beginning of June and we're just so in love. He's such a content little thing, and it's true what they say about third babies. They seem to slot right into the family dynamic. It's like he's always been here and he sleeps through his sisters playing and all their general noisiness, and he sleeps through me hoovering. And yeah, he's been great. But we're only in week 4, so I'm not going to ahead of myself. And I also forgot how much newborns sleep, especially in the day. You can be a little bit of a night owl at the moment, but yeah, it's so different to having toddlers, and it's took having this third baby to make me realise how much a newborn makes you slow down. And I'm really loving that because I'm very fortunate that Jason's off work and I'm able to slow down. He's able to have the girls, I'm able to feed, and I must admit I am really making the most of those contact naps. Yeah, so it's true what they say about third babies slotting in. It's not true in my case about third babies that just slip out when they're born. Everyone said to me, "Oh, your third baby, oh, it'll be easy, that birth. It'll just slip out. You've done it before twice. Don't you be worrying about a thing." So I kind of went into the hospital with this almost confidence that I've done it before, but deep down I had a bit of a nervousness, if I'm honest. And because everyone was so, "Oh, don't worry, you've done it before, everything will be fine," I don't think I prepared as much as with my other two. Now, with my first baby, I was really into the hypnobirthing. I didn't do an online course or anything, but I just read up about it. I watched YouTube videos, and I think that really, really helped me. And then with my second, because she came along just 18 months later, I was still very much in the zone, and I took it very seriously again. I was very like, right, get your hypnobirthing nailed. That birth was a lot quicker. My second came naturally, and it was very much quite a quick delivery. So that was fine. I must say this third birth was my most traumatic. And it wasn't terribly traumatic. Luckily we're both absolutely fine. We're here. It's all great. I didn't have to have an emergency section or anything like that. It just felt very shaky to me. And I think, like I said, it's because I went in with this kind of confidence of knowing what the pain's like, knowing I managed it last time. But deep down, I was really nervous. And I think being that nervous and shaky didn't set me up for the right mindset. So I was induced with this baby, and I was in the hospital at 11, had the induction, and I didn't really feel anything till 5. Jason and I went for walks around the hospital. We kept active. I was on my feet quite a bit just to try and bring it on as much as I can. And they examined me at about 6 o'clock, and I was starting to have contractions at that point, and they were quite thick and fast, which I know happens with inductions, or it can happen. So I thought, great, it's happening. So they examined me. I was 4 centimeters, and the midwife said, we're going to send you down to the delivery suite. We're just waiting for a room. So I thought, great, it's moving nice and quickly. So anyway, we get down there, and the midwife was lovely, two lovely, a midwife and a student midwife. She had a room all lovely and dim and glowy, and she had Smooth FM on with some like just really chill tunes, and it all just felt really nice. Anyway, she examined me and she said, look, because you're having contractions quite close together, we won't break your waters. We'll let your body do it naturally. Because I think what she said was sometimes it can send the baby and you into a bit of a shock. So we'll let it come on naturally. The next time we'll examine you is in, I think it was 4 hours. So I was like, oh my Lord, hopefully it happens before then. Anyway, it didn't. And I was having these contractions really thick and fast. Every 2 minutes, I would say. I was on gas and air. I was on paracetamol and codeine. And I was managing it like I had with my previous birth, but it was painful, and it felt more painful this time. But anyway, we were on the birthing ball. I was stood up. They were so encouraging. Jason was brilliant. We really felt like it was progressing. But I was really, really exhausted come the time for my second examination. And I thought, gosh, I must be 8 centimetres, surely, the pain. It must be 8 centimetres. So the midwife examined me at about 11 o'clock, and I was still 4 centimetres. And my whole morale just went out the window. I was like, I can't keep doing this. And it hit me like a wall. I thought, how can I keep going? How can I physically keep going? So the midwife said, what we're going to do is we're going to break your waters and see if that helps, bring things on. So they broke my waters. And I remembered the pain with my last 2 had their waters broken. My waters have never broken naturally, funnily enough. So that happened. The pain was like, oh my God, just all encompassing. And the midwife said to me, what I can do is I can get you some pethidine. It's the injection that will make you drowsy, but it will control the pain for you. Because like I said, at that point, I was on just paracetamol, codeine, gas and air. So I said, get me whatever you can. I said, I'm at that point now where I need help. So she went out to get that. And within 2-3 seconds, I said, he's coming. And you just feel that feeling when your body stops pushing. I feel like the contractions go inwards, and then when you feel like they're starting to come, your whole body pushes down. It's the most phenomenal feeling. And you're like, yeah, he's coming. And the student midwife, like took a look, and I could see her face was like, oh, okay. So yeah, he came, I think about 20 minutes after my waters broke. So I went from 4 centimeters to 10 centimeters within like minutes. And I think that was just the shocking, like, oh my God, feeling. But yeah, it was all okay. He is wonderful, healthy. I'm okay. My recovery was a little bit longer this time just because of a few health reasons, but I'm all okay now. And that's what's kind of took a bit of getting used to, just a healing and everything else. But yeah, I'm glad to say that he's here, and he's just such a wonderful addition to the family. The girls are in love with him. They've been so good with the baby, and now it's kind of 3 under 5, which is a new, what shall I say? I would say it is a challenge, but it's also very rewarding. It's non-stop. I feel like I want to be 3 people at the moment, because at 4 almost 3 and newborn, they all have quite different needs, even though they're very young. So it's managing that and being there for each of them. And I can tell now and then, when I'm breastfeeding the baby, they can see I'm taken up by that. And sometimes there's a little look of disappointment, like, where's my snuggle? And it's just managing that and making sure that I'm there for them as much as I can. But it's been great because Jason's off, so he's been taking them out of an afternoon now and then, and that's really helped me have a bit of a rest. And yeah, so if you are expecting a third, I would say it's obviously wonderful. It's just preparing for your other children's emotions, I would say. The night feeds still shock you a bit, don't they? And he's been doing some good stretches. So he's been doing like 2 or 3 hours at a time. But we have, at the moment, a period between 3 and 5 where he's awake, and it's wind, and then it's a nappy change, and it's a feed, and then before you know it, he wants to feed again. And because he's cluster feeding, it's being awake for solid hours at a time, that you forget about. And oh my goodness, it's that time of night when I feel like you're most tired, like 3 a.m. and you're probably going to be up till 5 right now. So yeah, I'm back with you all. And I know, having had 2 already, it doesn't last forever. So I'm trying to cherish it whilst also trying to push through it. But yeah, it's sleep, isn't it? It's sleep deprivation, and that's never easy. And something that has been lovely in the moments of like total overwhelm, which happens, is a lovely book that I was given by my lovely friend and listener to the podcast, Hannah. She bought me this when he was born, and it's called Beautiful Chaos by a lady called Jessica Ehrlich, I think is how you say it. If you haven't heard of it, I would highly recommend it. She has an Instagram and TikTok you can follow. So it's called Beautiful Chaos, and it's filled with these lovely, lovely poems all about motherhood and about your children. And I just think some of them are just so beautiful. So I thought I'm just going to flick onto this one. I thought I'd share a little bit of one with you. And this one's called From One Mum to a Mother. People will paint you pictures about motherhood in rainbows. You will forget that rain comes first. The brightness of that rainbow will always outshine the grey. But it's okay to talk about the grey. You should. You will rise up in the dead of night time after time. It will hurt. Your bones will ache. You'll swear across pillowcases as to whose turn it is to get up. But you will sleep again. You will question your identity. You will miss her. But maybe no one told you the pieces of the puzzle go back together from the inside out. You will find yourself again. There will be 2 people born that day. You will cry, your baby will cry. Some evenings, as a hush finally falls over your mess-ridden house, the sound will be ringing in your ears. But you will also laugh until you cry. There is so much to look forward to. You'll wonder if you're doing everything right. You'll panic, you'll second guess, Google search. You'll wonder if you have enough for your baby. Your baby has you. You are enough. You'll be busy, yet also feel like you're achieving nothing. You're achieving everything that truly matters in this precious moment. The laundry, you'll be folding those tiny clothes away into storage soon, sooner than you realise. I'm not saying to enjoy every moment, you won't, but these moments do pass. Don't wish for it too much. Some days will be a lucky dip with the mood in the house. Don't try to do everything the same as the day before, so they have that long lunch nap. You will have good days and bad days, and that's normal. You will have days where you'll feel depleted from all the giving. Really do try to fill your cup and not just everyone else's. That doesn't make you selfish, it makes you a better mother. You'll suddenly think of your own mother and everyone who did this before you. You'll have a newfound respect for each and every mother or father climbing this same mountain. You'll fall, but keep climbing. The view is beautiful, and so is the view behind you. You might think some days you can't do this, that it seems impossible, but you can, you are. With each season comes change. It isn't easy, but it is so, so worth it. And I just love them poems. They get me every time. Jason came into the living room and I was reading it while I was feeding, and I was in absolute hysterics, but good tears. It's like cathartic. It's like you need to cry, isn't it? And you let it all out. So I'd highly recommend that book. It's called Beautiful Chaos. Something else that I have been doing is wearing my Femometer Ring, and I think I spoke about this a few weeks ago when I back on my last podcast recording, and I was gifted this Femometer Ring, and it's been so interesting, mainly at the moment looking at the sleep data. And I'll give you an example. So one night I went to bed early, like 9 p.m. ish with the baby to get some hours in. And between night feeds, wait for it, I got 8 hours sleep. Can you believe it? And this was when he was about 2 weeks old. So there I was thinking like, wow, I've got this 8 hours with a newborn. And boy, did I jinx it. The very next night, I got 3 hours 15. So the chart is so up and down. It's unbelievable. Good night, bad night, bad night, bad night, good night, good night, good night, bad night. And you can't get too fixated by it. But I do think it's interesting because it links back to my mood that day. I know if I've had a good sleep, I'm great. I'm present for the girls. I'm happy. My mood's happier. If I get a bad night, it's time to warn Jason that the mood in the house might be a bit lower. But it's been really interesting, and it shows you stress levels and so many other things on there that is really, really helpful when you're postpartum. And I have a link on, if you're interested, you can have a look at it. It's on Amazon, and I've got a 20% off code, which is the night feed. So I'll leave a link in the show notes with the code. And unlike the other smart rings that you can get, there is an app, but you don't have to pay for it. There's no monthly subscription. So once you get the ring, you get the app. And there's loads on there. You count your steps, your heart rate, your stress levels, your sleep. It tracks fertility. And I think I'm going to use it for that because I don't like, the contraceptive pill just doesn't agree with me. I've tried a couple of them and I'd rather just not be on anything. So I'm definitely going to use their kind of fertility tracker. And it also, with that, measures your temperature. So it is pretty accurate. It's very accurate. And I'd much rather use that than put hormones in my body. So yeah, I'll keep reporting back on the progress with the ring, but I'd highly recommend you look at it if you're interested in a tracker like that. It's been brilliant so far. Right. Next is Confessions of a New Mum. And this week I'm changing it up only because I saw this hilarious post on TikTok and it made me laugh out loud. And it was when I was feeding, and you just get onto your phone, don't you? But let me find it. So the post says, where is it? Bear with me. Here we go. I'm hungover. Please tell me about a time you misread social cues and made it awkward. I need a laugh. So I'm going to go through some of the comments. First one. I was sat waiting for an interview and read the interviewer's name. So Facebook stalked him, but he called me in as I was looking. To my horror, mid-interview, he glanced at his phone and looked at me and asked if I had shared something on Facebook. I said no and continued. As soon as I got out, I checked my phone and I'd shared his profile picture. Oh my God. Next one. No lie. A girl I know at a job interview was asked what she would bring to the job, and she said, my coat, my lunch, and my bag. I went to pick up a parcel from a newsagent's containing some workout leggings. She asked, what's the name? I thought she meant the brand, so I said Sweaty Betty. She was like, ooh, it says Joe on here though. Oh, that's a good one. I went for a job interview and we walked past the staff room and she said, sorry, can you smell noodles? And I said yes and started to spell noodles. I thought she said spell, not smell. When I was pregnant with my son, I had a scare and my dad ran me to hospital and they said, is this dad? And I said, yeah, because I thought they meant my dad and not the baby's. And then she asked how long we'd been together. Not the same, but in a job interview, I was asked what animal I would be, and I said, on the spot, a giraffe, because I look down on people. In my head, I meant to say, look up, people look up to me. I didn't get the job. Oh my gosh. This is a funny one. I went for a job that required you to do an Excel test before the interview. The interviewer said, give your mouth a wiggle. And I thought she said mouth. So I moved my jaw side to side. Honestly, there were straight up 30 seconds where we locked eyes and nobody said anything. I got the job as well. Wow. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I ran through Marks and Spencer's to jump on my friend Dan's back. Turns out it wasn't Dan, it was a British Heart Foundation charity worker, and he thought I was attacking him. I had to sign up for monthly donations after that purely to try and ease the embarrassment. I did that once when I was a kid. I ran up to this guy in the supermarket and swung off his jeans, thinking it was my dad, and it wasn't. It still haunts me, that. Ah, gosh. I was at the optician's and needed my new glasses tightening. So I just leaned forward towards the optician and he was like, oh, just take them off and pass them to me. Sat in a hairdresser's chair. Thought she asked me, when's your party? I thought, odd, not having one. Started banging on about how I'm not fussed about parties and I prefer having low-key birthday celebrations. 10 minutes in, she says, so down the middle, yeah? Oh, parting. Gotcha. It's been 8 years and it still keeps me up at night. Oh, I love posts like them. The comments on them TikTok posts never, ever disappoint. And yes, to the original listeners, I am limiting social media still, but do you know what? You just need a laugh on TikTok when you're up in the night breastfeeding. I've had some emails since I've been away, so I thought I'd jump straight in. The first one, boy, does it go fast. Hi, Charlotte. I'm writing in with a realization I had the other day, which I think your listeners of newborns will appreciate. I started listening to your podcast when I was in the utter trenches. Baby was 3 weeks old and I was struggling. I was functioning on no sleep. I was feeling so low and just wondered when I would get through it. Needless to say, my now 11-month-old is sleeping through and has all his naps in his cot. I have time to myself again. I get actual sleep. It occurred to me the other day, I don't get the contact naps anymore or the newborn cuddles. He, in so many ways, is much more independent, and I felt sad. Why is the motherhood paradox so crushing? Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you and the brand new mums. You will get through it. Please slow down and take those contact naps while you can. Much love, a well-rested mama. Love that. And do you know what? I am enjoying the contact naps and I hope you all are. I am slowing down this time. I am fully embracing them and putting my feet up. I look at the mess around me and I just smell that newborn smell and think, one day the house will be tidy and I'll miss this. So if you can, embrace those contact naps with open arms. Next email. Why does no one talk about the postpartum ward? Interesting. Hi, Charlotte. I had my baby back in April this year, and one thing that shocked me was the postpartum ward. I feel like you have your baby, you're full of adrenaline, and then all of a sudden you're taken to a ward with 6 other new mums and babies, and your partner can't step foot in. You're on your own, in pain, and in my view, put to the test in terms of getting on with things. I know the midwives and nurses have to encourage you to be self-sufficient when you go home, but my God, as a first-time mum, you're really thrown into it, aren't you? I just wondered if other people felt the same. Also, that first poo is not for the faint-hearted. Oh my God. Yeah, that first poo. If you know, you know. Yeah, the postpartum ward is an interesting one, isn't it? And I remember feeling like that, especially with not being able to have your partner there. It was like, here's your baby. And you get the lovely tea and toast in the delivery suite, don't you? And it's like, right, time to get you to the ward now when you're ready. And you get in the wheelchair, you got your baby, and your partner brings your bags to the end of the ward, and then it's like, see you in the morning, or whenever I see you next. And that parting of you and your partner is huge, because then you're left on this ward with a brand new baby. And especially as a first time mum, it's like, oh my Lord, I am responsible for this baby now. And don't get me wrong, the midwives and the nurses are brilliant, especially in the hospital I went to. They're really friendly, really lovely. But I know what you mean. They do, I think, try to leave you to it as much as they can, don't they? Because they want to see that you're able and capable to have the baby, and also help you to realize that when you go home, this is it. You're going to have to look after that baby. So there's no point them mollycoddling you and picking up your baby and passing your baby and doing everything. The people that I think about a lot on the postpartum wards are those who've had C-sections, because I think that is major abdominal surgery. How are we sitting up, getting our baby? Obviously you do, and you manage. I mean, this time round, as I said, the birth was quite traumatic in terms of me and what I went through. So I was in a lot of pain, and even just picking him up was like, oh gosh. So I know what you're saying about the postpartum ward. You are kind of left to it without your partner for those first few hours overnight. One thing that shocked me about the postpartum ward, I'll tell you, is people on the phone on FaceTime at like 3 a.m. I've had it each time, and it blows my mind. All the babies are asleep, and there always seems to be one mum who is on FaceTime loudly talking to a relative or a friend, and you can hear every side of the conversation. And I'm like, everyone's baby's asleep. The other mums are looking at each other like, what is going on? And I think that's when a midwife or nurse should intervene and say, whoa, put your phone down, love. You know, I get you want to tell your relatives, I get you want to speak to them, but at 3 a.m. when the baby's asleep, it's unfair, isn't it? And if I ring anyone on that ward, I'm always quite hushed and quiet. I don't have people really hearing my conversation. But yeah, that was something that shocked me. Baby boy's just waking from his little nap, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. If you hear any little noises, I'm just feeding him. He's in that really sweet, lovely stage where I think babies, I read, they start smiling from 4 weeks, and he's 5 weeks now. And every time he goes to smile, I'm like, oh, are you smiling at mama? But I'm like, I don't know if it's wind, but it's so cute, isn't it, when they start to show emotions in their face? It's just like the cutest, loveliest thing. Anyway, on to my self-care suggestion tonight, and that is, don't watch Squid Game. I've got hooked. Jason and I've got hooked, and it is the most gruesome, disturbing, psychologically traumatic program I think you can watch as new parents. And it's funny because after we've done bedtime, we generally get like half an hour to an hour to ourselves to sit and chill and talk about the day and rest. And we're watching people stabbing each other for fun. Well, for money. It's a weird program, Squid Game. I don't know if you're a fan. I know it's hugely popular. It's definitely popular over here. And I hated it when I first watched it. I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this. All this needless killing. Don't like it. I don't like gore, really. I've got hooked. And I don't know why, but we turn it off of an evening and we're literally like, the adrenaline running through us, and we're like debriefing about these mental episodes we've just watched. And I don't know if it's the best thing for new parents to watch. So my advice to you is don't. But, you know, now you'll be intrigued, won't you? Anyway, thank you so much for listening tonight. Thank you for being here. I know I've been away for a few weeks, but I'm back now, armed with lots of brand new baby stories to tell. So yeah, and keep your emails coming. You can message me on social media, the Night Feed Podcast, or you can drop me an email, the nightfeedpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're interested in that ring I mentioned earlier, I will put the details in the show notes. I wish you all a restful, peaceful night ahead, and I'm in it with you now. So think of me at 3 a.m. Good night.